You are sitting at a quiet dinner table, enjoying a peaceful evening with your family or friends. Suddenly, the person next to you bites into an apple, open-mouthed chews a handful of chips, or loudly smacks their lips. Instantly, the peace vanishes. A blinding flash of raw, unfiltered rage hits your chest. Your heart rate spikes, your muscles lock up, and your nervous system screams at you to do one of two things: slam your hands on the table and shout, or sprint out of the room entirely. You look around the table. Everyone else is chatting normally. No one else is flinching. You sit there, trapped in your own skin, wondering why a harmless, everyday human noise makes you feel like you are about to lose your mind. Most people will tell you that you are just being dramatic, irritable, or overly sensitive, but they are completely wrong. To your brain, that wet, rhythmic chewing sound isn't an auditory irritation, it is a direct physical invasion. Your mind isn't reacting to a bad habit, it is running an extraordinary, highly defensive biological program that thinks a stranger has literally hijacked your own body. Let's go. For decades, the medical community dismissed this intense hatred of chewing as a simple personality quirk. It wasn't until the early 2000s that it finally received a name: misophonia, which literally translates to the hatred of sound. But the word misophonia is actually a massive scientific misnomer. Sufferers don't hate all sounds. A thunderclap, a roaring jet engine, or a crying baby might be loud or annoying, but they don't produce the sudden, murderous panic that a person softly chewing cereal does. To find out why, we have to look inside the skull. In a groundbreaking 2017 study published in the journal Current Biology, neuroscientist Dr. Sukhbinder Kumar put misophonia sufferers into fMRI brain scanners and played various trigger sounds. What he discovered completely shattered our understanding of the condition. When a typical person hears someone chewing, the sound travels to their auditory cortex, gets flagged as background noise, and is promptly ignored. But when a misophonic brain hears that exact same sound, a deeply buried structure called the anterior insular cortex, AIC, ignites into absolute overdrive. The anterior insular cortex is the command hub of your brain's salience network. Its job is to act like a neurological security guard, constantly scanning the environment and deciding what is critically important to your survival. In a misophonic mind, the wiring of this guard is fundamentally altered. The study revealed abnormal, hypersensitive connectivity between the insular cortex and the amygdala, the brain's ancient fight-or-flight panic button. The moment a wet chewing sound enters your ear, your internal security guard doesn't flag it as manners, it flags it as an existential threat display. Your body immediately floods your system with adrenaline, spikes your blood pressure, and forces your sweat glands open. You're reacting to a dinner guest the exact same way your ancestors reacted to an apex predator cornering them in a cave. But this discovery raised an even deeper, more bizarre question. Why chewing? Why are the most violent triggers almost always human mouth movements, like swallowing, breathing, or lip smacking? In 2021, Dr. Kumar and his team at Newcastle University ran a second study that completely rewrote the rules of neurobiology. They discovered that misophonia isn't actually an auditory problem at all. Your hearing center is working perfectly fine. Instead, the trigger sounds are accidentally activating a highly advanced neural network called the mirror neuron system. Mirror neurons are what allow humans to be deeply social creatures. When you watch someone wave their hand, lift a cup, or smile, your own brain's motor cortex subtly mimics that exact movement in the background. It allows you to understand, empathize, and learn from the physical actions of others by mirroring them internally. It is the biological foundation of empathy. But in people who can't stand the sound of chewing, the connection between the hearing center and the ventral premotor cortex, the area of the brain that controls the movement of your own lips, jaw, and throat, is dangerously supersensitized. When you hear the wet crunch of someone else's food, your brain doesn't just listen to it. Your mirror neuron system aggressively, involuntarily forces your own motor cortex to simulate the exact physical mechanics of that person's chewing. Your brain is essentially forcing you to chew along with them against your will. Scientists call this hyper-mirroring. The reason you feel that suffocating wave of rage is because your brain is experiencing a form of micro-neurological violation. Your system reads the sound as an uninvited presence intruding into your personal, physical space, taking control of your own facial mechanics. This also explains a famous misophonia phenomenon. Many sufferers find that if they mimic the chewing sound back at the person, their rage instantly drops. By physically moving their own jaw, they are forcibly reclaiming control of the motor pathways their brain just hallucinated losing. This brings us to a profound, bittersweet realization about how our internal systems are wired. The next time you are trapped at a table, feeling that hot surge of adrenaline because someone is breathing or eating too loudly, do not look at yourself as broken. Do not assume you are just a hostile or impatient person. The cringe and the fury are not metrics of a social defect. They are a striking, vivid proof of your intense human connectivity. You aren't suffering from a hatred of sound. You are carrying a beautifully complex, hyper-connected brain whose biological boundaries are incredibly thin. Your mirror neuron system is so profoundly empathetic and so deeply wired to simulate the world around you that it literally cannot separate where your body ends and where another person's actions begin. You are a prehistoric creature running a hypersensitive empathy computer, momentarily overwhelmed by the echo of someone else's survival. Take a breath. Recognize the neural hijack for what it is. Step away from the table if you need to, and give your beautifully defensive mind a moment to realize that you are completely safe.